Hey, we are live, minus 2 people, for the Don't Dream It, Stream It Marketing Happy Hour. It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Are we happy?
We are. Although
Every hour.
I have
Every
a sad little cup of herb tea.
I went for, look,
Modelo.
we have somebody who's entering the studio.
Oh, who is that? No,
I do not know.
Is it
Anyway,
Troy? Is it John?
it is Troy Boy.
Hey, McDonald, nice of you to join us.
It's the drive-through from McDonald's.
I have to go get my drink.
A drive-by. Well, I was delayed on getting my drink too. Anyway, let's get started on marketing stuff. This is our marketing happy hour. I'm Dr. Christopher Vogelman of Maximize Your Media, our digital agency, which is actually a national agency, and also of Life Beyond Practice, which is our group of doctors who we help to build their own online businesses faster than they could do it on their own, so they have a life of more free time, freedom, and fun. The F word.
And who doesn't love more fun?
You need more fun.
I'm Angela Langlotz, trademark and copyright attorney, and I help entrepreneurs identify, protect, and monetize their valuable brands and creations. And I'm also starting to teach them how to go visible on video. So I actually bought visibleonvideo.com, and I'm building a website right now. So yeah, that's my new thing. I want to teach people how to make more money and have more of their ideal clients by using video marketing.
There you go. Excellent. I also like that little title you put under your name, which is Live Video Evangelist.
Live video. I am a live video evangelist. I love live video. I do.
Love live, love life. And who's this guy?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm Troy McDonald with liveeventmarketers.com, which actually redirects you to the Facebook group, which is called by the same name, Live Event Marketers. And it's where you're able to announce your live stream or your live event, as long as it's business related or marketing related. And we also discuss other things in there too, or you're able to discuss as well, things that are about live streaming and marketing and that kind of thing. Marketing and
Marky Mark.
Marky Mark, yes, and the Funky Bunch. Don't forget that. It's where you can go in there and discuss things about marketing and using live streaming for that.
Excellent. Yeah, and people can announce their live streaming events within the group and view it from within the group too, now that I remember. So.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So this is the week that was. We talked about creating content. We talked about, what did we talk about?
We talked about platforms, streaming experiences.
Our favorite platforms.
About audio quality on Monday.
Yes, audio quality, which I'm not using today because the Heil is in the corner hiding.
Oh, it's heiling.
Nope, okay. Nobody puts Heil in the corner.
Nobody puts Heil in the corner. Well,
and then yesterday we talked about production habits and mindset. And I'm so sorry I missed that one because it sounds like it was pretty interesting. I'm going to have to go back and watch it.
It was actually really good. We had John for a short period of time because he wound up leaving to go camping. And so I think he's a happy camper somewhere.
Well,
or some people would say he left to do RVing, which some people will say that's not camping, but I'll take it.
I don't know. I spent a lot of years in the Boy Scouts sleeping on rocks. And to me, that was camping as opposed to running around in a 32-foot mobile home. So.
Well, I'm at my age. I'm now for the RV camping, so I'll take that.
No, I would too. But I mean, for me, camping by definition, after slogging through the Boy Scouts, it's a condo at the beach. So that's my definition.
Yeah. That's the kind of camping I like.
Yeah, it's I
actually lived in a tent one summer in Alaska. That was pretty.
Whoa. Cool.
Yeah, that was camping.
That is camping when you have mosquitoes with 3-foot wingspans.
Yep, you got to watch the mosquitoes, man. They're vicious.
You know, my sister lived in Alaska for Michelle. She's lived for 4.5 years, and so she used to catch salmon in the middle of these rushing rivers and things like that. And she worked for United Airlines at the same time, and they had this sweet deal, great for employees in terms of employee management, where for $5 you could send any package via FedEx. And that's not a FedEx plane. That actually is a military plane right now. And so we would get fresh salmon the day after it was caught back in Buffalo, New York. So
that's amazing. That's amazing. Wow.
Truly
I love fresh salmon. I ended up, I learned how to fly fish, and I actually caught a lot of Dolly Varden. They call it there, but I think down here we call it Arctic char. It's a nice white fish.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Dolly
cool.
Varden just made me think of Dolly Parton. So
I know, right? This is the fish version, though.
The fish
big,
Dolly.
You know, I don't know.
Big gills. Big
gills. Yes. Thank you, Christopher, for saving me from my
gills
going into my mouth. So what do we want to talk about here?
Well, I suggested before Troy popped in, we can even talk about trademarks and things, because you did.
Maggie real quick wanted to know where her drink was, though, and it's a bring your own drink, though.
Yeah, here's my drink. I'm drinking herbal tea. Sorry to disappoint for all the people, but this is my happy drink. I had drinks last night, so I never drank 2 nights in a row.
I've had none last night, so I'm making up for lost time with Modelo.
This is soda, so it's not alcoholic or anything.
Okay.
Well, the good news is, Troy, that if you eat sufficient numbers of carbohydrates, your body will ferment them and turn them into alcohol. So you're never without it. So
there you go.
A little biochem lesson for you today. So
what are we talking about?
I mean, we can talk about trademarks, marketing, branding is a big one. I mean, we were just talking before we went on live about how people can do some interesting things with brands. And I love the way that you have actually branded yourself, Angela, with the R for the registered and the little X. That is just brilliant. Who did that for you?
I think I actually created that little graph.
Yeah, that's just pretty darn cool.
Yeah, a place that I really like for logos, and they do a great job for $30. It's called logonerds.com. They've done a few things for me. Yep, they did my trademark doctor logo.
Yeah, that's one that I really like. In fact, Ben Atkins, a mutual friend of ours, or was John and I. Don't you know Ben Troy, don't you?
Yeah,
I know Ben.
Oh, you know Ben too, yeah. Anyway, he always advocates Logo Nerds as a good place. And I like better
he
than
might have even told me about it. I don't know, but I've been using them for years, and they're great. They do great quality work. They'll redo your logo as many times as you want. You just send them. So you send them $30 and some examples of stuff that you like.
I think their rates have gone up significantly.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think it's $99 now instead of $30. So.
Well, it also depends on what package you get. Like if you want the full branding package.
Oh yeah, that could be it. Yeah.
Well, they'll do your letterhead and all of that too. But I just wanted the online. I just wanted a logo.
Yeah.
And they did a great job, and it came back really quickly. I can't recommend them enough. I really like them.
Yeah. Good. So they've got professional web logo 27, business logo 47, character mascot design.
That's fun. Okay, I didn't know they had a mascot. That's kind of cool,
The trademark doctor mascot.
And here's another tool that I use too. It's called Coolers, right? It's like colors, except it's got an extra O. And what that does is it generates a color palette that you can use for your website or project or whatever. And I used that to create a new palette for my visible on video coaching that I'm doing. And that's really cool. And it tells you all the hex codes too. So you can generate it, and then it'll tell you all the hex codes, and you can download the color palette, and it's really, really slick. And you can pick the colors that you want. So let's say that you're really into this certain hex code color. It's blue, and you really like it, and you want to do a yellow. So you can freeze. It's the ability to reshuffle the palette, right? So you can freeze the blue and then just click and keep clicking until you get some more colors that look good to you, right? And you go, oh, well, I like that color, but not that one. So you can freeze the color that you like and keep clicking on the color that you don't like, or you can input a color and see how it looks, So it's really cool. What you can do is you can go to a website that you like, and you can use the eyedropper tool, which is a Chrome browser extension, to figure out what colors they're using. And I'm not advocating that you scrape anyone's website or anything like that, but we're all inspired by things that we like. Right. Yeah. So you might have a color that you like, or someone is using the color on their website in a way that you really admire. You can go figure out what colors they're using, drop them into Cooler. And if you want to change some things, it's really easy to change that up. So I use that a lot for designing things.
That's so incredibly Cooler.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very Cooler. What are some of your favorite tools, Troy?
Well, actually, there are some tools, and this is what I thought you were alluding to originally, but to where you, in essence, you freeze like a color that you like, and then it gives you the complementary ones that go with that. That would be like the yellow, the orange, the red, so that goes with that blue. Because for me, like, I can end up liking a whole bunch of different colors, and then I'm like, oh, well, this isn't the shade of red that goes with this blue kind of thing, And so, and I always like to joke around that, like, for me, drawing or anything like that, I need a ruler to draw stick people. So
how do you use the ruler to get that round head, though?
That's my artistic capability, so to speak. I mean, I don't think I'm the best, but I do like tools like that. And I did have to kind of laugh when you were saying, I don't advocate anybody, but it's really just, if you're, you're just sampling a color from a website. It's one thing if you, I think, are full on taking their color palette, full on taking, like, even shifting their logo slightly, because there are some that full on copy of people's sites, and it's an obvious thing, and that's the big no for sure. But I get what you're saying about the not just taking everything as it is verbatim, but
well, there's a difference between inspiration and plagiarism.
Yeah,
exactly. So, if you cite your sources,
my source is the Coca-Cola logo.
No, but they always told us in law school, it's like, it's not plagiarism if you cite it, so you can quote somebody else, just give them a footnote.
I'll give you my footnote.
There you go.
But it's a footnote, so they don't give you the boot.
Isn't there an actual, so there's fair use, and then there's also, giving somebody credit, but I think you can't just, like, you could copy a whole chapter and then give them, credit. You know what I mean?
No. So yeah, sure. Let's talk about fair use. We can talk about that. So fair use is a defense to copyright, to an accusation of copyright infringement. And there are certain things that fall under fair use. But let's back up a little bit. The copyright laws say that you can't copy other people's creative work, right? So in general, the rule is no copying. But there are some circumstances under which it is totally legitimate and expected that we copy other people's work. Mm-hmm. One of the circumstances is, and those expected and normal times when we copy other people's work, that's called fair use, right? So there are certain circumstances under which it is perfectly acceptable to copy someone else's work if the copying is limited and if the copying doesn't interfere with the market for the original creator's work. Okay, so and let's talk about some of the cases for fair use, not court cases. I just mean what are the sorts of things that are considered fair use? Well, I use other people's material all the time in my videos where I'm talking about trademark and copyright law. Today I use this
the Toblerone.
The Toblerone, right? So I was talking about how we brand things and where we put things on the packaging, or do we put the trademark on the packaging? Do we put it on the goods itself? And I was using a couple things as an example. That's but yet I'm reproducing this creative Toblerone logo, right? Is that copyright infringement? Well, no, it falls under the fair use provisions for teaching, right? So I'm using it as an example. It's arguably non-commercial, even though I'm promoting me and my services. I'm not saying, hey, buy my stuff, but I am, putting value out there, and my, logo and stuff is on the video.
But is this product placement if they send you this Toblerone?
Well, no, and I'm sure they wouldn't be upset at me using them as an example. I was using them too once as an example of a shape trademark, because they do have a trademark on this distinct.
Really?
Yeah, they do. We can talk about that later if you want. But the point is that in order to teach, sometimes you need to show the example, and that's a fair use exception for teaching. There's also a fair use exception for criticism. Like if I am writing if I'm a book critic and I'm writing a book review, it is perfectly acceptable for me to take a short passage out of the book and put it, if I want to, into my book review, right? That's an acceptable fair use. So teaching, criticism, that sort of thing. The most common thing that people use, though, and they try to say it's parody, right? Parody is also fair use, but you really have to be careful with parody, because you're using their stuff. If you're going to claim parody, the use needs to be sort of transformative, right? Like you can't just take the photograph, download it, and then use it again, put a filter on it, and then upload it again, and then say that that's transformative, right? There was a sleazy politician last year. His name's Dave Blewett. He stole a photograph from a client of mine, and or his graphic designer is. I don't really care. It was on his website, so he's responsible. But this sleazy politician stole my client's photograph, cropped it, put a filter on it, and then tried to say that was transformative. That is not transformative. Okay, cropping, not transformative. Putting a filter on, not transformative. Okay, so when we say transformative, we mean it's an entirely new work. Okay, you've taken something from the original, but you've used the original to create something that's transformative. And yes, it could be a parody, right? Like the explanation that I would give is, what if Toblerone, and I'm not saying this about Toblerone, okay? I'm just using Toblerone as an example. What if Toblerone was touting its corporate responsibility and how great of a company they were and what an awesome company they were to work for. And then we discovered there was this big scandal. There was hidden camera evidence that Toblerone was locking their workers into small, sweaty rooms and making them toil without pay, right? Let's just say. And I'm a political journalist and I'm following this, and I want to poke fun at Toblerone, right? I could use the Toblerone logo and incorporate that into a pointed and critical comic drawing about, corporate responsibility and Toblerone. Okay, now
or you could take that. Yeah, you could take that. I was going to say, you could say, "You're never alone," in the same letters on the package.
You're in the hot, sweaty sweatshop.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But I'm just using that as an example. That would be transformative. They could use the Toblerone logo in their comic, and they're creating this commentary about political criticism or social criticism or something like that. That would be transformative. Okay, but you can't just crop it and put a filter on it and say, oh, it's transformative. No, it's not transformative. You're just stealing other people's work, right? So yeah, if you're going to use somebody else's work, and I strongly recommend that you don't, okay? Because remember, fair use is a defense to an accusation of copyright infringement. That means that you've been sued, all right? And Federal court, which is where all copyright matters are litigated, that's a really expensive place to be. All right. That's like you're hiring attorneys that cost $1,000 an hour. All right. Those litigators do not come cheap. They're very specialized, and you better hope they win your case for you, because if you've been hauled into federal court, it means that your accuser has a copyright registration. That means they get statutory damages of up to $125,000 per infringement. Okay. So, and you're on the hook for their attorney's fees too, possibly. So you don't want to go there. Just, go download some stock photos, go pay for the photos, do anything but copy other people's photos. It's just, or anything, right? Like, don't copy stuff off the internet.
Yeah, paying for the rights to use something is a lot cheaper than
a lot cheaper. Yeah, it's really expensive.
Now, the question actually that everybody's been wanting to know, now that you've taunted that in everybody's face, is that the
flaunted?
Well, I said
he said taunt.
Like, look what I have, but you can also say flaunt if you would like.
Right.
Flaunt.
Yes.
Taunt.
But my use, fair. This is fair use.
Yes, but my question actually is that the milk chocolate version, the dark chocolate version, or the white chocolate version?
This is Swiss milk chocolate with honey almond nougat.
Yes. Now that would be the regular one. Did you know that they do make a dark chocolate and they make a white chocolate version? And the only reason why I know that is because my wife had a client that went over to, I think she was in Germany, but anyway, she brought her back. It's a bag that has like these smaller versions of them, and they have the white chocolate, they have the dark chocolate, and then the milk chocolate one, like the one that you have. So because I don't think they have those normally available, or at least in most places in the U.S. where you get those flavors.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I've only ever seen this yellow. And this is kind of cool. So if you look in the mountain has a bear in it. You probably can't see it here, but
barely.
Yeah, you can make out the bear. Yep. So they also have a registered trademark for the shape of their chocolate. This triangular shape is distinctive, and no one else can use that here in the United States.
Can we use a Can we have trapezoidal chocolate?
Well, I don't know. Does someone have a registered trademark?
Not that I know of. Trapezoidal chocolate.
So they're based in East Hanover, New Jersey. Here, that's their distributor is anyway. Joyzy, imagine.
Huh.
Yeah. Best been used by 10th February 2020. This is kind of an old. Oh,
it's still
good. Best if eaten by.
Yeah, best if eaten by. So it's not best anymore, but it's still Toblerone. No, I just use these things. I find examples of trademarks, cool trademarks everywhere I go. And when I find something like this, I buy it. I was like, oh, that's great. We can talk about shape as a trademark,
Well, you actually mentioned as well, like the other day about green egg, how they have the green egg color. Blue egg. Yeah. The green color is trademarked.
I will soon be filing my first color trademark. My first claiming of color as a trademark. I just got a big client. They're going national with some stuff. That's all I'll say about it. But I was able to identify 4 marks that they were using. And so they're going to be registering all of those as trademarks. And I'm excited about that. So that's kind of cool.
That is cool.
It's not the color of my eyes, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay, good.
It's not.
I want somebody trying to get me to change my eye color.
But your eyes are a very striking blue.
Yeah, so I've been told.
That you're sitting in right now, and maybe with that blue shirt too.
The blue shirt helps. It accents the baby blues.
Angela, I look forward to the video though, where you come on and talk about Toblerone, where you're lifting it up. The side is cracked open, and you have like a little bit of chocolate, and you think,
it's not bad. It's not at its best, but it's still tasty.
It's still tasty. Actually, I don't like the nougat and the nuts, and I don't like nuts and chocolate, so I will never eat this block of Toblerone. It will forever be merely an example of shape.
Merely a display. It'll eventually be in the Smithsonian, just like Troy's signature sheet.
The signature sheet. That's right, Troy. That's funny.
Well, I had mentioned actually either yesterday or the day before, Angela, that I am awaiting my stand-up desk to arrive, but I don't think it's actually shipping. I think they're behind. They won't be shipping it till the end of the month anyway.
Where did you order from?
Oh no! In fact, now I think about that, I did ping you with it, and I told you I got it from. It's at the top of my head, but it won't come out.
Stand-up desks are us.
Yeah.
I got mine from Uplift Desk, and I'm sitting down right now, but normally I stand to do video. But, you know, when I'm going to be on for more than a half an hour or something like that, you know, I'm not going to stand for half an hour.
That's why we can't see the Brillo pad box.
Yeah, that's right. I could move it down. Here, I'll move it down.
No.
Is it okay?
I'm okay.
All right. Christopher seems to be obsessed with the Brillo pad box.
I think it's because it was part of my youth. As a kid, there were Brillo pads everywhere, and they were
they're good for removing rust.
Yeah,
cleaning
just like Coca-Cola is. So.
Yeah, or you could I actually do have a Coca-Cola bottle up here too. So between the Coca-Cola and the Brillo, we're plenty abrasive over here.
Don't mix them. Yeah, don't be so abrasive.
Right.
I got it. I got my stand-up desk from Flexi Spot.
Oh, Flexi Spot. I think they're the ones that make the ones that go on the
Flexi Spot.
That go on the desk and then pop up. Are they the ones that do that?
They have actually both.
Okay. Yeah.
So the one that I'm getting is actually the full desk, not the add-on.
Uh-huh.
You know, that where you can just put
I'm looking it up right now. You have the electric one?
Yeah, it's electric. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. And then
you'll like it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm excited to get it. And I opted to get the memory one where it allows you to set a preset. So you just hit the button, it'll take it to where you need it, and then it'll, you know, because they just have ones that you can buy that you adjust it every time up this far.
Don't do that. That's a pain in the butt. Mine has 4 presets, and I have them set for you know, standing and sitting because I'm short. And I have this keyboard tray. Mine came with a keyboard tray, which is really cool. So you can put that on so you can adjust the height of your keyboard because it's ergonomic that way. You know, it's a lot less fatigue. So I have it set up for me to type and use the mouse and all of that. So, but you'll love it.
There's a $10 off coupon if you order today.
$10 off, huh? Woo!
There also is a friends and family discount thing. I think they're just trying to get some inventory moved.
Yeah, probably. Well, yeah, I think the stand-up desk is great. Do get a mat though, Troy, because you'll get fatigued standing on a hard floor.
I do have a padding already down now on the floor, so it's not a hard floor. It's a little bit of a carpety thing. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure I probably will end up adding one. But I figured what I'd do is I'd get the desk, try it out for a bit, and then start asking people what they like, what they're using, because you know how there's just a zillion kinds of things to stand on that. You know, sometimes people buy it and they go, "Well, it sucked," or "It was good," or "This one's like all right." You want, like, I got the inch. You want to get the 2 inches thick one or whatever, you know, kind of thing.
It's like standing on a cloud.
Yeah.
Standing on a cloud. This is pretty cool. I mean, these are not expensive at all. They've got a Memorial Day sale. It's $170 for the one that sits on your desk, and $230 is another one. And then
what's it called? What's the site?
Flexi Spot.
FLXI. FLXI.
Okay.
FPOT.
Flexi Spot. Okay.
Flexi Spot, because
VersaDesk. That was the one that I was.
VersaDesk.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if I can share this screen. I don't know.
Yeah, you can share your screen.
I think I can. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, now the bottom should say share screen.
Whoops, that's the wrong person.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, these are pretty cool.
No, I'm not going to do that.
They've got a keyboard tray too. The keyboard tray I think is great because otherwise you end up, you know, kind of hunching your shoulders up or bending over, which is bad for your neck. I need to go see the chiropractor, obviously.
I can't do an adjustment from California.
Oh, wow. They have a cycle desk. A cycle desk bike.
Actually, one of my friends has the cycle desk.
They have a combination cycle.
Yeah.
Wow. For $549. You know, this one that I got,
they're cheap.
I've had it for about 7 years. And so I think there's more competition. I don't think these Flexi Spot people were around, but I think I paid close to $1,000 for this thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You've come down in price dramatically.
Yeah, that's cool.
We actually found that one in the alley, and I had to take it back because it was too wide. It was an IKEA standing desk, and it just wouldn't fit in this little office. So.
I would like it, actually. I got the smallest one that Uplift Desk makes.
Yeah.
And it's big. It's like 45 inches, probably 48 inches wide by 33 inches deep or something like that. And it's just too big. I don't need this much desk space. And it just takes up way too much room. It's kind of cool. It's got casters and stuff.
You said you have 3 monitors, right?
Yeah, I do. So the way mine is set up is that I have my MacBook on a stand that's supposed to keep it cooler, but that's not working very well right now.
You need that gamer one that I talked to you about.
No, I think I'm gonna get that fan.
Get the fan. The fan's it's working incredibly well for me. And the other one is to keep your charger this way instead of lying down. So.
Got it. Well, mine's plugged in on the floor, but so I've got the one MacBook screen here, and then I've got like a 36-inch wide monitor, so I can put up, I keep the email and the Trello board and the calendar and everything else that's kind of like planning oriented over here. And then my monitor has room for 2 windows, so I can see, whatever it is I'm referencing and whatever it is that I'm working on, which is great for drafting documents, right? Or copying things from, a government website to, I'm doing research or something. I can't imagine doing what I do with one screen.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do cut and paste.
And paste. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I think, setting up your workstation ergonomically can reduce your fatigue tremendously so you can be more productive, especially when you're working from home.
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree. There's nothing I would change about this setup. And then I have the mic boom here, and I have a window opposite me. And this ring light, usually I'm standing, but if I need fill in, like if it's a cloudy day, like this morning, I did a video interview. I was on someone's podcast, and we were talking about trademark and copyright law. And I turned on this ring light, just so I could kind of fill in because it was a little bit dark. So, but most of the time when I do my videos, I'm just using the ambient light from the window. And then the overhead light is kind of a hair light.
So it gives you that sparkle.
Sparkle. Like I need more sparkle.
You need more sparkle.
Representing John right now.
Has John ever? He hasn't even appeared anywhere.
John wanted to say that he would, I'm going to try to appear. But
try to appear.
As soon as his foot hit that gas pedal, man, he was like, forget all that stuff.
Well, he did a check-in on Facebook that he was at some golf course in New Hampshire, and
I did see that.
Golfing is different than camping.
He was maybe golfing on the way to camp.
Yes,
I don't know.
Fair.
It was a golf camp.
A rest stop.
Golf camp.
Right. It was a rest stop.
It wasn't band camp. It was golf camp.
Yeah, he's like, in fact, like I said, his foot hit the pedal, and he's like, forget about it. He's not getting on at all.
That's more New York than New England.
Well, no, but I still meant forget about it. But yes, that is more like a New York phrase to stereotype it. But
yes, we shall stereotype at any cost.
But
so what else is cooking this week? So we did talk about content yesterday and content creation, and when John disappeared, right after that, Troy and I started getting into all the different things that you could do with content, how you could create it, and how you could repurpose in multiple ways, and scheduling time for creating content. So that the muse, you don't have to wait for the muse to come to you. You could actually sit down, write stuff, even if it's garbage. At least you get the garbage out of your head so that you have greater clarity for what you're going to create.
Yeah. What were you guys talking? Were you guys talking about that yesterday?
That was yesterday.
Content. Yeah. I'm sorry I missed it. I'm going to go back and watch that one.
We're very sorry you missed it too.
We accept your apology.
Just don't do it again.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But it is an interesting thing, having grown up in essence, from the beginnings of the internet, the interwebs.
Interwebs.
Pre Al Gore.
Yes. But I guess if you ask him, he would probably say that, again, he was there from the beginning.
Actually, I've actually been to DARPA where they created the internet.
Oh yeah, DARPA.
They've got blue lights. It's like military Kmart. And the reason I say that is because DARPA is, the super secret defense research agency in production, and they have, when there's these skiffs that go through, and when the blue light goes on, everybody has to leave the secured area. And it just reminded me of the opposite of attention Kmart shoppers.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's pretty crazy.
But it is really, interesting. I mean, now that it's so, flooded with, for just about everything, you can find, 1,000 people to buy from, whatever it is for the most part. And how do you, so yeah, you can create content or you can create another website and stuff. But the real question is, how do you stand out? How do you get, the recognition? How
Branding.
Do you get the audience? Yes,
well, but I think showing up consistently is really important, right? Like I'm there. I mean, sometimes I miss a day or two. But I'm there every week telling people what I know about trademark and copyright law every week. And I've been doing that for 2.5 years now.
Only 2.5 years?
Only 2.5 years. So when people, and I'm also, so I market to a certain segment. Most of my clients sell stuff online. I sell stuff online. They like to work with me because I know their world and I'm part of their community. Mm-hmm. So I'm using the same software that they're using. I'm dealing with the same issues that they're dealing with. So it helps to be part of the community. It helps to show up consistently, mm-hmm. and it helps to be responsive to your audience. So I invite people to message me with trademark questions. I get messages every week with trademark questions. So people know because I'm answering the trademark questions and I say so. Hey, I'm answering this question for Dr. Christopher Vogelman.
It's like the readers, the mailbag from one of our readers.
Yeah, it's like a mailbag. But when people see that you're actually responding, it's a dialogue, right? Yeah. You're not just shouting at people, hey, buy my stuff, right? You're actually responding to their questions. You're telling them the answers to things that they care about. And, when you care, people respect that. Yeah. They start to trust you.
And building trust takes time. That's why it was only 2.5 years. So.
Right. Actually, you know what? I mean, people would be appalled to know it's been 2.5 years, but it took me about 6 months to get any traction at all with the videos.
Really? That's interesting.
It did. But once I started getting traction, I mean, if you go into the ClickFunnels group and you ask, hey, who's the go-to for trademark law? Mm. And 18 to 20 people recommend me. Mm. What kind of endorsement is that?
It's huge. Yeah.
It's huge, right? Everybody knows who I am. Everybody. And do you know why? It's because I keep showing up. Right. Right? And this is just on Facebook. I haven't done a lot of work with other platforms, but I show up. So my platforms that I like to show up consistently on are YouTube, where I have a large channel, and Facebook.
Right.
My peeps are hanging out on Facebook. So if you want to connect with people, you got to figure out where they're hanging out and what do they care about? What are the problems that they're having? Make content that responds to those. Listen to them, respond to them. It's not a one-way conversation.
And I completely agree with that. In fact, referring to the, it only took me 2.5 years kind of comment, or it took me 15 years to be the overnight success, whatever it is that's simply just it. Nowadays, with so many people online that, again, you're one of the 1,000 that are selling XYZ service or product, mm-hmm. is actually showing up on a consistent basis so that you're almost in their face, or you just Well, there's the omnipresence, meaning like you really do like it's a good idea to have your videos on YouTube, that you do as well, because people are going to find you through different channels. But the simple fact of them finding you on various and multiple channels is kind of a reinforcer. Then the other part that I find is people in essence are testing you out, whether you realize it or not, or even whether they realize it or not. And that is, are you a flash in the pan person? Or are you going to be around and then you're continually proving that what you are touting or what you're teaching or preaching? Do you know what you're talking about? And then have you been in for the long haul, and are you in for the long haul? Nobody wants to get onto the train of the, for lack of a better word, guru, whether that's, like I'm hiring Angela as my guru for trademark stuff, right? Well, is she going to be, is she going to be there for me? Well, nobody wants to get on that train if they think that you're going to be a flash in a pan, and you all of a sudden like, oh, I don't care for this internet stuff anymore. And then now they're left high and dry because people see their resource as limited, which it really is, time mainly. And so if they're going to put their time into it, are they going to buy into you because you are going to be around and you have been around, or you've proven that you will be around?
Yeah. I mean, I've been selling stuff online since 2006. So I'm definitely a long-term player in the online game. And I've been an attorney for 20 years. So I'm definitely a long-term player in that game as well. And, if you show up long enough, I mean, it didn't take me 2.5 years to get traction. It took me 6 months. Video is a long game. Building relationships, which is what we all want, is a long game, right? It's not one of these things where you show up from time to time and ask people for money. You have to give first, right? So I give value and I don't ask for anything. That's going to change. I will still put out the give only posts, but I'm going to start asking people, hey, I have this course. If you want to learn more about, trademarks and you're a copywriter, I'm going to, I have a course available, go there.
Of course.
More of it.
Of course.
But I think it's really important to build credibility and trust that you're every, whatever, pick your interval, whether it's daily or weekly or whatever, but whatever you pick, stick to it.
Yeah, but I think in today's world, monthly is not going to do it. So.
No.
Yeah.
But whatever you do, I think it's important to show up and give value without the expectation of receiving anything in return.
Right.
Except
maybe eyeballs and comments.
But you earn the eyeballs.
Yeah.
You earn the eyeballs by putting out good content. So you earn the trust, you earn the attention. You're earning all of that. And then once you put in the time to earn the trust and earn the attention, then you can start asking for things.
Right.
I'm glad they're called eyeballs, because that actually rolls off pretty good. Can you imagine if it was like eye triangles? I don't know, it doesn't sound as good.
No, but it's funny because one of my favorite people on Facebook for groups and all his pages also is Rachel Miller, and she always talks about eyeballs, but she also mentions earballs.
Yeah, I like Rachel. That's a great example of somebody who is consistently putting out excellent content. And if I encourage everybody to follow her, because she puts out some great content. She teaches people how to market online. So it's a very crowded space. But in that crowded space, Rachel has really carved a niche for herself. And she has people that follow her. She's a woman, so she has a lot of women followers. She's a mom, and she's very open about sharing who she is, right? She's a mom. She has 6 kids. Some of them are adopted, and some of them, she bore the normal way. But, she's got this cute family with cute kids, and, she talks very openly about, her kids' participation in her business, and they help her with her business and, earn money. She pays them for helping her, and they learn responsibility and things. She talks about all these things. So
she's great. And when it comes to doing lives, she's so incredibly authentic. Yes. I still remember one of my favorite lives. She was on live, and she had 2 picky eaters amongst those 6 children. And she would just turn and say, "Eat your chicken." And then she'd come back to doing the live.
Yeah. Well, but it's a good example of somebody who's really making her business work for her.
Right.
So she's got 6 kids. She's a stay-at-home mom. Her husband does work outside the house, although she could easily afford to retire him. He must like his job an awful lot, or maybe he just wants to get away from the 6 kids, especially now quarantine, right? But who knows? But, she's a stay-at-home mom of 6 kids. And so that's her thing. And so she's a very good example of, and she has a very exuberant, bubbly personality. She's very cute.
And she has the same high level energy in person, because she was at my birthday party a couple of years ago.
Oh, she was? Yeah.
It was hilarious.
I've hung out with her. I was in Akbar Sheik's mastermind for a while. She lives here in Dallas, where I live. Akbar lives here in Dallas. So, I was with her at an online event that he had. And, she's really great, and she is really authentic in person, and people can tell, she's not hiding who she is or hiding her life. She's incorporated her business into her life. And I think that's a very attractive thing for a lot of people. And she attracts, I think, a lot of stay-at-home moms because she's an inspiration and a role model for them.
Well, and she's certainly not posing next to a Lamborghini,
No, she's not doing the, I call it bro marketer. She's
bro marketer
stick, right? And you know what? I think we're all over that, because it just feels so fake and so flashy, narcissistic, look at me, that kind of thing. And I think we're all really over that.
It's flashy beyond the pan. So there still is a market for that, though, and it tends to be the younger market. But we've talked about it.
20-something market,
the jabroni market. But and that's fine. That's their thing, whatever. But it leaves me just cold.
But it's not. I don't think it's not sustainable either. You have to transform into something that reaches a greater number of people.
Yeah.
So
you really do. And you have to be relatable. And I think the bro marketers are, they're speaking to a different crowd who is in a different stage of their life, not only their business, but they're getting started. So they have this aspirational lifestyle thing. There's a lot of men out there that, want the Lamborghini and the boobs and all that.
Wait, do you acquire the boobs with the Lamborghini?
No.
It's not a Marilyn Manson kind of thing, is it?
You get the money, then you get the Lamborghini, and then you get a girlfriend with boobs. Right?
Oh, the girlfriend. It's not a Marilyn Manson thing.
No.
Good.
It's not.
Thank God. Because that is just a whole different world.
I don't even think I want to know any more about that.
Let's
skip it. But they're marketing really a lifestyle, and she's marketing a lifestyle too. A lifestyle of not having to sacrifice your business for your family or vice versa. And that's very compelling for a lot of people.
Especially if she is, with the women market, there's a lot of moms that they know that if they were to start something, they've already got to juggle the family as well. So
yeah.
Which is funny, because we actually, my wife and I have spoken about this to quite an extent, because her fans for Mama's Kitchen, her Mexican food blog, many of them have been asking her, how do you make money from home? You have a second business? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And so that led us to be in the process right now of constructing an actual membership group for women and men who want to stay at home and have a business from home, in particular for many of those for whom restaurant work was or delivery or food service, those types of things, because they're not working anymore. And so we keep the cost down low enough so that they can get in, and then give them the nuts and bolts, the blueprints, all the good stuff and none of the fluff that you might see in internet marketing. And I know that that's going to be very popular, because we actually have clients in our agency who've done something similar. So, but just a slightly different audience. So,
if I may ask, and if it's none of my business, you can say so. Or you can say it's private and you'll tell me later, whatever.
I can always be private, yes.
No, I don't want to be nosy. I want to be sensitive to the fact that, sometimes there are business things that you might want to keep to yourself, and that's fine too. We're not here to spill information that makes us feel uncomfortable, right?
No, I mean, in fact, I even shared some Facebook Messenger stuff with you about some branding that I was doing, so.
Yeah. And if you want to talk more about that, I'm happy to do that. Just, chit chat. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll give you the free appointment link, and you can schedule some time with me if you want to talk about it. No, really.
That's good.
So how much are you going to charge for the monthly group?
This is low. This is $20 a month.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Really low. Yeah.
If I can make a suggestion,
Yeah.
try 17.
Yeah, I mean the 17, the 19, the 20. I mean, I just throw out even numbers.
17 converts better than 7s convert better than 9s.
I've always, it's funny. I've heard that, and some of my most successful friends have used 9s. So it's sort of like, in fact, one of my favorite people online uses 99.95, really old school pricing, and that actually cuts through all the $97 products, at least for me, because I think I'm his market. So
yeah,
but I understand the 17.
Yeah. It's
I do. Yeah. I understand the whole 17, but that's sort of an introductory thing. And then of course it ramps up once we get the founders group, probably going to be in that 27 to 47 range. So,
okay. Yeah, good. That's good.
But it's priced so incredibly low because we really want to have this not be a major price problem for people who are, especially those who are unemployed, but we're also not going to give away the farm. So,
well, I like to say that people who pay attention.
Yeah.
Right.
For the most part. Some people just buy things for the dopamine and the oxytocin high, and then that fails. So
that's true. And I've done that.
Me too. I've got some amazing courses that are gathering dust on this hard drive right now.
Me too.
Shelfware.
Shelfware. But people value, and then you can give away a little bit more and not feel like you're being dope about it.
No.
And then some of those people will join your higher priced offerings.
They will. They will continue. I think this is, it's funny how things evolve over time, because my friend Monica and we just started, let's do something called Total Health Live. And we created the group, and then the group became a product, became a membership. And suddenly there's a membership site that grew out of just doing Facebook Lives.
Isn't that great? I love it. So I have some things that I want to run by you about a group, but not here, maybe later.
Because it's it has to do with the color that you're trademarking.
No, not that. I don't talk to anybody about my client stuff. Anybody. No. But
you could be your own client, but that's like eating your own dog food.
But I want to start a group, kind of like what Troy's done, not to compete with Troy, but
because you don't have a sheet.
Right. I lack.
Well, she has, I'm sure, a sheet, but it's not a signature sheet. Troy McDonald's signature sheet. So.
But I think
Troy?
I think I want to create a group for attorneys, right? Because we attorneys, we have our own head issues that we need to work through.
Oh yeah. I can tell you from the pre-law standpoint, there are some head issues. So.
Well, and the other thing too is that attorneys are really nervous about advertising. Like we have to be careful about the whole advertising thing. So, it'd be nice.
Huge opportunity for attorney membership group.
Oh yeah, I think so too. But I'm going to charge for it.
Yeah, well, I think and pricing is interesting because I have yet to actually implement the pricing for a membership group that I've designed for doctors. Mm-hmm. And I remember Frank Kern telling, because he was talking to me as well as a surgeon, a cardiac surgeon, about how to price a group for doctors. And it was in that maybe, I want to say $247 to $500 range. And it couldn't be much under that $200 thing because people just don't take you seriously. Now, maybe COVID changes the pricing structure a bit.
Maybe it's like $147 a month or
something like that. I would say is about right, because that would be maybe the half price of the normal $300 offer. That's just pure speculation, but that's
because I would be talking about like live video. I would be talking about marketing. I would be talking about funnels. I would be talking about the tools that I use.
Yeah, and that actually sounds like the same thing that I have for my doctor's group, like different market, but the same thing. Any sort of a professional who wants to move out of that professional comfort zone and gain greater reach and exposure and make more sales or have more clients. It's the same basic market, clients, patients, whatever you're looking at.
Well, it's the same
Maybe I
tool.
started at 147 and then say that's the introductory price. And
That's our founding members. And actually, if you think about it, Frank Kern did something similar with his membership group, because his inner circle, I think, was, I want to say 237 or 247, but only if you signed up after a particular offer that he had made. I think it was a very low cost, maybe a $99, $97 offer. And if you signed on and committed to a whole year of the membership of the inner circle and acted quickly because of the urgency, it lowered it from 347, I think, to 247. I may have the 47 thing wrong.
Okay.
But it lowered by $100 a month. And I think that's actually a pretty brilliant strategy to get action takers saying it's about to go up quickly. So,
yeah, I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
Scarcity sells. We all know the psychological triggers for that.
So Troy, what do you think about pricing membership groups?
Gee, we have almost no time left.
Yeah, in 30 seconds or less.
Man, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where to start, because my mind is actually thinking about all the Kern stuff, because I used to work with Kern, and
you did,
worked on various different projects. So, and also, like I say, worked with Andy Jenkins on their stuff and whatnot. But I mean.
But what about continuity pricing in general? Is there any sort of guideline?
I mean, there really isn't, in a sense. It's just interesting because, Frank originally, so his program that he put out, he physically shipped you something.
Yeah. In fact, I have a wall back here with many of those.
Same with me. Well, I actually have a room upstairs that has, I've got all this, stuff from way back in the day and whatnot. But then he went completely digital.
Right.
And I mean, so as far as pricing, I mean, you're going to find people that are going to argue that, the 95 works, the 97 works, the 47 works, the 27
when you start getting into it, if you get into a market, I mean, you're trying to create a level of exclusivity. Because I have some friends of mine who are doing memberships, as much as $450, $650, $750 a month.
Wow. So, I mean, money. You get 100 of those.
Absolutely no.
You could retire to a condo in Dallas. I mean,
for both lawyers and doctors, where both you deal with, you have to charge a certain amount to just even seem credible in any form or fashion. Then the other thing is, you're also going to, not completely, but I was going to say, you're going to eliminate some of them.
Yeah.
Because there's still, there's going to be because whether you take a doctor or a lawyer, you're going to have quacks, that can afford whatever your program is, even if you charge $3,000 a month, you know what I mean? But you are trying to eliminate the lower end of the doctors or the lower end of the lawyers.
You're not going to start with some professional who's barely scraping two nickels together and has one client or one patient in the office.
Right. And again, they're just like dealing with any other customer. So if you tend to charge, say, a $17 a month product, you're going to get a different kind of customer for the most part than the 97, because you can get the 97 a month. So you can get somebody that's a 97 and they're like, I hope I learn to make $1 million in the first 3 months because that's all I can afford. I mean, you're going to get those people. However, you're going to get a lot less of them compared to if you charge the $17 a month.
But I also like the approach of creating it almost like that a membership, you almost have enforced continuity, which is, okay, this is a 6-month program. And you don't expect you to get results instantaneously, just like it took you time to go to law school or to become a dentist or medical physician or chiropractor. And so you need to put in your time. And as Angela was saying, you need to show up consistently, perhaps on live video, for 6 months to start getting some traction.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it is actually interesting that you point that out about, say, like a particular fixed period continuity.
Yeah.
The simple fact is most programs you see aren't that, because they want you to stay past whatever. Now, again, the industry average is, somebody only sticks around for 3 months.
Yeah. It was like 3 to 4 months. Is typical.
Yeah. And so, I mean, if you really want to do something or I think what makes sense is saying, hey, look, the program, because I mean, then you're gonna be talking to nephrologists as well. But the program is 6 months.
It's a 6-month
for the
program.
main training.
Yeah.
And then if you have a program that in essence feeds those after the 6 months, meaning
continuing
that
education.
Yeah. So I think it helps the way I see it, especially like if you look at a professional, right? I mean, everybody's time is limited, but you look at a professional, and especially someone like a doctor or a lawyer, they're going to be different than other professionals, but
they're going to want the cliff notes for everything.
Right. But at the same time, at least they can also see a planned course, meaning like, hey, this is a 6-month thing, or this is a 3 months thing. And so they can already lock that in and kind of, schedule their life around that, meaning that, okay, it's not just going to be a continuing, this is whenever it ends kind of thing.
Well, I think that, if you think about marketing in general and sales and conversions, it's continually changing. The principles tend to stay the same, but the technology changes, people's expectations change. Occasionally a virus comes to town and that may change things, and so
occasionally.
And so, but with that in mind, I think that you need to appeal to people in terms of having a long time perspective instead of a flash in the pan. Because we just say, there's no way you're going to flambe your way to digital success.
Flambe, huh?
Well, it's a flash in the pan.
We were talking about flash in the pan the other day.
There's always a flash in the pan. So.
And there is, I mean, this is not a popular thing to say, but there are no shortcuts. There's no substitute for just showing up all the time.
Exactly.
Right? And I think, you have to, it's true that you have to give good content, but geez, showing up is like 90% of it.
It's 90% is showing up. In fact, that's been one of my greatest struggles for several years, was being consistent. In fact, I was actually consistently inconsistent.
Well, that's not so good.
You could count on the fact that I would sporadically post. So.
He's consistently inconsistent. No, and yeah. And Facebook groups are really great these days because they actually have now places where you can have, they call them units, right? Yeah. So you could actually put a course in a Facebook group.
But I have missed so many units because they post in different places. You get emails, you'll have an actual website or a Kajabi and the units. And I can't tell you, I've had at least 2 situations where I wasn't paying attention to the units because it was such a tiny little banner.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to tell people where to find stuff.
Yeah.
But the Facebook groups are great. You can put the videos and everything there. It's a place for people to interact, and you could actually leave all the stuff. You could leave the videos in the Facebook group and then download them.
Yeah, because I think I'm always concerned, as James Schramko refers to, owning the race course, the OTR.
Yeah,
and to be able to
platform,
pull those people out to another platform if possible, and collect emails no matter what you do. So.
Yeah.
In fact, I was gonna say that as much as Facebook is putting things in, implementing things, it really still is not the best place for a serious kind of membership, or at least because, again, if your goal is, I think all of our goals are, okay, my goal I know is, and I'm assuming you guys think the same, but if you really literally want results for your customers, that's the biggest thing that you can do for them, right? Is actually have them get the result that you basically sold them on, right? Mm-hmm. And again, there's exceptions. You can't help them if they don't implement it and whatever. Again, but you really want to help people to achieve the goal or goals that is set by the course. Mm-hmm. And the way Facebook just operates, it's not like a true kind of membership type thing.
You're right. Good point.
And yeah, I think there's a lot of
with it, but
yeah, there's instability there. You cannot.
It's also distracting. It's also a distracting environment.
Right, you're right.
Because you get the notifications popping up and things like that. So.
Yeah. I've been using a platform called Podia to deliver. I was using ClickFunnels for a while. I'm moving away from ClickFunnels. But
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's interesting because there's also a member vault. There's a number of different places
Oh, yeah,
out there
there's
that
a
have
lot,
created these platforms. Yeah.
You can put it, you can have a WordPress membership place. I don't like WordPress because it's hackable and you got to, there are always security issues.
You need a lot of plugins to play the WordPress game.
Exactly. And the plugins slow it down. And I would rather just use something like Podia. I'm going to eventually be switching to a membership platform on Groove Pages. But for right now, I'm using Podia, and I am still using ClickFunnels for the sales pages. But I think that's going to all move to Groove Pages. So
Groovy. I got my free three. I got my free three free too. So
All right. So to wrap up, I have to meet with somebody else as well. So I do need to wrap up.
So why don't you go first?
Okay, man. What do we talk about? The whole week, right?
The whole week. Well, you don't talk about the whole week. Just say how happy you were to be here.
What is the one thing? No, I actually think a little bit of my thoughts have gone today towards, prior even to this live stream, about, again, continuing to build your brand, which means basically your following is how I look at it, right? Well, meaning me, because, and even it includes you guys too, for building your own personal brand, which is, again, your following.
Yeah.
And that I really do. I completely agree with it's showing up on a consistent basis. And you need to understand that it is a long-term game. Mm-hmm. I know some people okay, look, I maybe can do 30 days, but you know what? What if it takes you longer than 30? I'm just saying, okay, more than likely it is, but hey, I don't know what you're already starting out with. So the point is that you need to be in it to win it, not to just use some kind of really weird catchphrase, but I really think it's more about consistency than being a brainiac, because I know everybody in a sense wants to have the latest and greatest tool and thing and whatever, and that's what's going to make them successful. So they're buying all these different kinds of programs and whatever. But I think if you already have a knowledge to share, mm-hmm. then consistently getting the message out there or messages about what you know is really bigger, is the biggest thing you do to build a following versus trying to chase the shiny object of how to go about it. Mm-hmm. It's getting people comfortable with you, getting them to know you, getting them, and then, building from there. So I think that's just the biggest thing, because I just see so many people, again, chasing the shiny objects. I used to do that a lot, and occasionally I get a sidetrack kind of thing as well. It's a lot less than it used to be, but it's being in front of people on a consistent basis and letting them get to know you, and then how to stay connected with you is important.
Yeah. Dr. Christopher?
Oh, she's taking control again.
Yeah, I do that.
Totally kidding. Which, if you need a trademark person who can take charge, call Angela Langland.
There you go.
So I'm just thinking, I agree with both of you in terms of what you're saying, because it is the consistency. It takes time to build relationships, to develop the rapport, and to develop the reputation for being a trusted guide. So give first before you expect to be able to receive the harvest of your efforts. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I kind of already said it, so I won't beat a dead horse, but don't
beat that dead horse. Yeah.
Okay. Being consistent and giving and responding to your audience and actually interacting with them is really important, because people will grow to trust you if you're responsive to their needs. That's service.
And speaking of being responsive to your needs, we have decided as a group to make a little schedule change where we will be experimenting with the once a week meeting of these luminaries on Fridays for the marketing happy hour. And we'll see how that goes. Because we're all very busy and we're getting busier, but we still want to get together and be able to share the knowledge, the experience, and the expertise of these great folks. So with that in mind, we'll be back next week, Friday, a week from today, 5 Eastern, 4 Central, 3 Mountain, 2 Pacific, 1 Alaskan,
Mm-hmm.
and noon Hawaiian. See
Wow.
how I did that?
You got it all down.
I have to go backwards now.
Didn't you actually have a whole other one too? It wasn't Alaska and Hawaii. What was the other one you added?
Yes. For those of you, I think it's 5 o'clock Eastern, 6:30 Newfoundland time.
Oh, those for the
There
new
you go.
For the newfies.
It just keeps you guessing. You never know what he's going to offer.
You never know what time zone. I'm not doing the GMT thing either. But those of you in Australia, it's a 7-hour difference or 15-hour difference, 17-hour difference. So, all right. Bye for now. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.